think it's Tuesday. Might be Tuesday. It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday! December 9th.
Tis.
Oh, did I change my mic over, or am I on the wrong mic still? Let's go check that quickly. Oh my gosh! I'm falling behind. Do I sound better?
Sound about the same.
Excellent! It's Tuesday!
Yeah.
Taser.
Hello.
I'm here. Welcome to Shanahanigans Live, the show where my lower third likes to disappear on me if I dare do anything else mid-show. I came here all prepared, and it all just falls in my face right at the end. But that's why we have to play a certain special song each episode to make sure we all know if everything is working. Because if you don't hear the answer to the song, then you know the message of the song isn't true. Is
It.
Ray calling.
Zippercasting.
It's that far.
Shenanigans Live.
I also have other keys I gotta press, so I keep forgetting them until the day of. Hey! It's recording.
Broadcasting. Shenanigans Live.
Oh, we got Tyler just joined us. What's happening, Tyler? Katie's going. What you gonna do this episode?
Oh, working on stuff.
Working on stuff. Oh gosh, there's other people here listening to this. I think I know who they are. Katie's gonna work on stuff, and we got people in the background right at the intro of this song. Hello. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me. It's not just me on the computer alone. There's other people, I swear. Thank you. Close those doors.
Looks suspicious.
Close those doors. Right. Now I've just completely lost track of what I'm doing. I can't think now. Katie's gonna do stuff. I had a rhyme. Something about story. I'm gonna tell you guys a story, I guess, or two. And we also just got back from dinner, which was delightful yakitori. Lovely, isn't it? Chris, the host, makes it for the intro. Good. Did you join me for the embarrassment of my life? I can't even. I can't even. Is it recording?
It's broadcasting. Live.
It's live. So, how live?
Here we go.
Live. Damn it. Welcome to Shanahanigans Live. It is Tuesday, December 9th. Katie's here. I'm here. If you're new to this, I don't think I've done the intro properly for like a couple episodes now. It used to be all flowy and good and like you're on a carousel of dreams. Now those dreams are dashed because they only last so long, even when you were gone, or especially, I'm not sure. Welcome to the show, of course. We have people join us in the chat. If you're joining us now and you're like, how do I participate? How do I get involved in the friendship that you guys share? Well, you got to go to Google+. Unfortunately, friendship is a painful street. You got to go to Google+, sign up for that madness or whatever. And then you can go to the chat, where if you're watching this on YouTube, there should be a button saying, join the conversation, bro. You can do that. It's all good, too. We got Tyler saying, it is Hump Day podcast. I guess if you have nothing to do on Friday, because wouldn't that be a Wednesday podcast?
Mm-hmm.
We got Chris the host saying, made it for the intro, of course. Voted for 2. Chris the host is winning. Once again, if you're in the chat, which isn't actually a chat, it's a Q&A where you ask questions, and then it gets lost in the feed if there's a lot of conversation. Because sometimes we get on a roll, and everyone's going nuts, like, Final Fantasy! And SpaghettiOs! And, like, we're talking about everything we love. And then we lose track of what's going on. We still want to get to your comments and questions, and we will ruin the flow of a conversation. We'll go back in time and talk about whatever you want to talk about. But you can also vote up your chats, your questions, to encourage it raising to the top. For the foam raises to the top of the froth of the mocha. Which, Katie, you want a mocha? You want a little? You're a little tired. You want a little mocha drink?
Jolt. Something.
That song doesn't help. It doesn't wake up the soul.
I don't know. Like we were running around. I was feeling good. We went out for dinner. We almost went to the Big Island, and then just as soon as I came in the door, I crashed.
This is weird. Like you're like a whole different person. Like literally minutes ago, we were out having the time on the town.
Mm-hmm.
The city, naming lights, paint the world red, or whatever it all is. And it's just like we go upstairs, go to the doors. I sound like a pure in the case. It's like, bleh. I'm like, what happened? We were like, I'm
being indoors again.
I'm pumped for this. I look forward to this show every week.
Good
like
guys.
the fine folks in the chat, this is like my place to yell at people. I don't do it on the bus. I don't do it at the office. This is the place to be.
I got that out of my system at dinner, and now I'm like, I don't have anything else to talk about.
I'm just ramping up, because I have a big old list of topics to go on about, which usually I try to trick Katie into talking, because there's things of interest or things she's done that I discussed. But you guys also, if you have topics, anything, you're like, oh my gosh, did you see this new, like, for example, did you see the trailer for the Petite Prince?
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. Everybody was posting it, though.
It's really nice. Like, first of all, some of the stuff which was for it, I didn't know it was for it, because the story stuff where it's like the narrator talking to you is actually this old guy talking to this girl next door who's like all studious, and she's like not living the youth life. She's all studies. And this guy next door is like this wacky bearded dude who's all like, oh, space and things, and is that a snake or a hat? You know, so that's the angle they're going for, where they have like a modern story happening parallel while he's flashbacking about how you should be chill and not worry about how much someone makes at the business, but the tenor of their voice. If you've read The Little Prince, it is a book about kind of just ridiculous amounts of innocence, in the sense of like, it's all these tales, these little short stories of this character who's all like, you know, says things in the most, like, you wouldn't think the way he thinks unless you were like, of the most innocent and pure of mind and heart. There's all these nice things like, oh, everyone always asks, what's his career? How much does he make? They never say, what color are his eyes? What does his voice sound like? You know, we're all so superficial. And then I read this book and I'm like, we are! We're the worst!
It's so true.
Yeah, I'm like, so I try to live by the code of The Little Prince if I can, which, I don't know. We'll see if I do, if I got it right. Tyler says, oops, in regards to his assumptions. Chris the host says, I've noticed a pattern from rewatching all the Shanahan episodes. Uh-oh. Shaggy always seems to start the show with complaint. Really?
Yeah.
With a complaint? Oh, this time I thought it was complimentary, actually. Because I was all like, oh, this trailer is good. See? I'm enjoying the Little Prince trailer. Because there's like stop motion. Whenever it goes to the Little Prince himself, it's all like stop motion-ish. I don't know if it is stop motion, but it's like all kind of paper cutout look and like 3D, and it's like really nice. So I'm curious. I'm looking forward to it. Bunch of things to talk about, of course. We won't go too long though. We'll keep an episode reasonable. Katie does what she does. Are you drawing on the computer or just drawing on?
I'm drawing on the computer, yeah.
That's fine.
I'll share it in a bit. It's just not really anything just yet.
Where to begin? Well, let's make sure we don't lose you. How about we go, say, did someone go to a distant world of fantasies that are final?
Did go to that exact thing. It was the Distant Worlds Final Fantasy Symphony Orchestra was in town, and it was amazing. I went on Saturday, I think it was. I didn't even know it was in town. I think I was randomly looking up something because I was listening to the music. I was just like, oh, they're here next week. So I just ended up getting a ticket and went on a little me date, and it was fantastic. It was really nice. They had I'm gonna mess up Noboru Uematsu, I think is no. If only I had the internet to look it up.
Such a useful tool, that.
So the composer of many a Final Fantasy song was in attendance for, it was the 99th show they were doing. Nobuo Uematsu. Yeah, he was just in the audience and enjoying the show, and then for the encore finale, he came out to sing in the choir for One Winged Angel. They were like, everybody sing along, you know the words.
You all know the chorus. Yeah,
and there were a couple people in costume, and it was just great. Like they had a big screen where they would show a lot of really cool visuals, and it started with that kind of the music at the beginning, and then they started from Final Fantasy 1 and went all the way through 14 with the visuals, and it was nice. Like, I've only played a couple of the games, but just going there, I was like, I want to play all of these. It's like a lot of fun. And of course, the music was gorgeous, really great.
Tyler Mann asking, at Distant Worlds, they promised to play the remastered Final Fantasy VII soundtrack, but then get to play the old one again. Dang,
I heard about that.
Yeah, no, Square, if any of you were paying attention to what was going down in Vegas, there was like a Sony event that's all like, hooray for Sony, I guess. I'm not even sure why they did it. It's like, you know, basically kind of like just having their own separate E3 for some reason. And like, dude comes up on stage being like, next Final Fantasy VII, and everyone's like, and he's like, it's coming to PlayStation 4, and they're like, and he's like, as a port of the PC version. And then the world was like, I hate you, Square Enix.
He was like,
oh, were you expecting something else? We've only been teasing a remake since forever. Remember back with PS3 with the Final Fantasy VII remake test? Oopsie! I'm like, oh, shut it. Like, you guys are like, we're remaking 10. Everyone likes... I don't know why I'm talking like Pops. Everyone has very enjoyed the version of the 10. Oh! You know, it's like, all right, thanks, Square. You know, ugh. Like, they don't have, like, I'm not saying anyone has to remake anything. I'm happy just playing it once and having the memories and moving on to new things. But it's just they're dangling this rod, like, in front of the crowds forever, just being like, oh, want 7? Whoops! Want 7? Whoops! And I'm like, all right, guys. You know what you're doing. But, now, in contrast to Katie's love of the Distant World, you started playing Final Fantasy 13, I hear.
Oh, yeah.
How did that go?
Well, you know, at first I was kind of like, I haven't really played any video games in a long time, other than just kind of, not just, but like party games like the driving, Mario driving, you know?
You know, Mario driving
you get in that car and you drive around. Like Mario Kart and Smash Bros. And stuff. Like I'm like, I don't have time to play any games. Like and then the other day I just was listening to a lot of the music and was like, I'd really like to just, because in the evening sometimes we'll just watch TV and there's nothing good on, and I'll flip through Netflix for an hour and not find anything good to watch. I'm like, why don't I just play a little bit of games in the evenings? So I really wanted to play an RPG, and I didn't really have much of a selection, except we had Final Fantasy 13, which Jerry bought and didn't really get into, so I started that. And visually, it's really beautiful. Like, it's a really pretty game. It's just I found I was having a lot of the problems that some people were having with it, where it's like very linear. You're pretty much just running down corridors all the time. Like, what I like about a game is I like going to villages and exploring and running around and just having that open world. But in this game, you're kind of just going from A to B, and I wasn't super loving it. And also, it was kind of, I think it gets changed because it's like you're in this kind of technological world at the beginning, and I think a couple chapters in, you get to go explore and run around more, but it wasn't doing that at the beginning, and I was kind of like, this is just like grinding. It's just.
I think it's one of those games where they tell you like, oh, you gotta wait like 15 hours in, it gets good, and you're just like, that's a lot of hours I gotta wait to get to the good part.
Like what I like doing is running around a village and talking to villagers and just exploring an open world. So I gave that a rest, and then I put in the Studio Ghibli game Ni no Kuni, which was fantastic because right away you're just running around your little adorable village, and then the cutscenes are all animated by Studio Ghibli, so it's like a beautiful movie cutscene, and 2D animation starts playing. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Ni no Kuni is honestly like it was shocking how beautiful it was to me, because like every frame looked like a painting, because how they've textured all the buildings is basically like someone watercoloring or whatever, like a background for a Ghibli film. But that's like applied to 3D texture. So when the camera stops moving, you're like, that's a painted backdrop. Then you rotate the camera, you're like, boo! And then it stops, and you're like, that's a painted backdrop. Like, it is a gorgeous game. And not even just the visuals. Like, the gameplay is like, you know, you like one of your major scribbles with RPGs tends to be the fighting system. You don't like this like turn-taking, blah, blah, blah. But they kind of made it like an active thing where you get to run around and avoid attacks if you can. There's still some command stuff, kind of like how Kingdom Hearts has, like, a magic menu system and stuff while you're running around. So it is closer to Kingdom Hearts in a way, though not as one-to-one. There is still like command-based stuff where like go fight this guy, but you are still able to physically run around in circles and avoid like general attacks if you can. So like you've actually enjoyed the fighting system this time around by the sound.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I actually like leveling up, and I like the little monsters you fight with. They're cute, and they like you can power them up with snacks. You can get cupcakes and chocolates and feed them, and then they'll get better at defending or better at attacking and better magic skills, and it's just really fun. It's really cute.
If we love any RPG that has a snack-based system, going all the way back to Secret of Mana, this is how it's like, chocolates heal you better than candies do, but that magic honey's even better. We're just
well, I just like the level of fun, and then you're running around the town, and there's cat people, like adorable cat people, just hanging out in this beautiful village you're in, and yeah, it's really nice. I actually enjoy going back and leveling up because there's different spells you learn too, and it's like, I can't open this chest unless I learn this magic spell that can open purple chests and things like that. And it's, it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's looking like in watching you do it. Like I'm probably not gonna play it myself because I I can only do like an RPG once. If I watch someone play it, I'm like, well, we've accomplished it. I don't need to do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how different will it be for me? But like, it is lovely just seeing the scenery. There is some frustration in it where it's like we know where the next thing is going to be, but we need a plot point to tell us to go there first. So we end up running back and forth across the city like so many times, being like, I know it's going to be there, but I need you to tell me it's going to be there so I can go there for it to spawn, or like it wasn't there before you told me it was there because they didn't want me to get ahead of myself. So like that kind of stuff kind of frustrates me when you can't like skip ahead if you have a feeling of where something will be. It's like you have to be told what to do. We got Chris the host saying, you may like Dragon Age then, Katie. It's an RPG, and there's a lot of talking to people and exploring, and yeah, and there's also like fully customizing your character and lots of makeouts. So yeah, no, Dragon Age is like up there with the Mass Effects and stuff, where it's like just basically just getting everyone to make out each other.
Perfect. All I require in a game.
Yeah, well, yeah, also like Fire Emblem is like that too, where it's basically like a hero breeding simulator, where you're basically pairing up all of your like best warriors and mages and stuff, trying to make these combinations for the next generation. I'm like, holy, that's interesting. A lot of people are digging in. There's a lot of fan art and stuff. People we know do a lot of drawings too. It's definitely one I want to check out because I really enjoy the Advance Wars games, which I believe the same studio makes for Nintendo. So I'd like to see, and also like I love all the characters in Smash Bros. One thing, if you guys are Smash Bros. Players yourselves, one of the things I really love doing is going to the Fire Emblem Arena stage on the Wii U, which is the one from the Brawl. It's like the flat one with all the pillars. Do the stamina mode where it's like actually you all have like a certain percent and you're fighting down, and just pick Fire Emblem sword characters. And I even do that in like slow motion mode, just to see like all the backflipping happening and the swords just missing and people parrying at the right time. If you play Smash Bros, I encourage you to try slow motion battles just to like study the flow of all the characters' movements and just all the little animations they do. Like I did that on the 3DS just when I had nothing to do. I'd play each character in slow mo just to study how they operate, and like even just watching the little animations in the duck hunt, like the dog and the duck working together. There's just odd like little character animations, like just when you turn around, like the bird like switches sides and does like a little dip and stuff like that. And there's so much passion put into each animation in that game. It's mind-boggling how good Smash Bros. Is for Wii U. Speaking of Wii U and Nintendo games, the recent pickup which I downloaded was Captain Toad Treasure Trackers. If you want the most charming game of the year and something that's not too complex, but it's just fun and adventurous and silly, I thoroughly recommend Captain Toad for the Wii U. It's been a treat for me because first of all, each level is kind of like a little diorama. Everything's like a toy world. It's not designed to look like toys, kind of like how Nintendo Land makes everything look like fake and like theme park sets and stuff, but it feels like you could 3D print each level and just put it on your table and be like, that's nice to look at. Because like every little world is just like, I want this. I want to own these little Toad worlds and just move my little Toad around. But you get to do it in the game, and it's like the premise is basically a Toad trying to get stars, and the Toadette was hanging on the star. A bird took it away, and now you gotta go after both of them and stuff. And then there's a switcheroonie halfway through the game, and like the second half of the game, which I've got to now, is even harder. Like they ramped it up right away. You get a new book to go through, and it's like slides and longer levels and stuff. But it's like it is the most delightful game right now. It's just kind of charming, silly, optimistic, treasure hunting. It's got a little taste of Pokemon Snap because there's moments where you go on a minecart and you got to use the camera. And I'm just like, make Pokemon Snap 2 or HD Remix or whatever. But like this is the proof of concept. It works. I want my Pokemon Snap 2. And you yourself, I had you come down and play a little Captain Toad. What did you think?
Yeah, it's cute. I enjoy it. Just little puzzles. He's really annoying. Really annoying.
If you take him to a window, he screams out the window. He's like, bah!
But it's cute.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's I thoroughly If you like puzzles, you like exploration, and it's like basically what you're supposed to do each level is gather 3 gems. And then afterwards, there's like one additional thing which you may have done coincidentally, but like there's one additional thing like don't get any, injured, or don't attack any of the bad guys, or collect the whatever. So there's plenty to go back, because sometimes like there's just one gem missing, and you're like, okay, it has to be somewhere. Where is it? It's got to be somewhere in this level. I've been all over the damn place. We got Christos saying, oh, and I'm tuning in from school as I animate in a flour sack. Hurrah!
Nice. Flour sack.
Keep that flour sack dancing. We got my age saying Mass Effect is better than Dragon Age in quality, though, in my opinion. IMO. Especially the first games of the series. Then again, I prefer sci-fi to medieval fantasy most of the time, but I am greatly enjoying Dragon Age Inquisition. It's been fun. I still got to go through Mass Effect, but a friend of mine got me the whole collection of all three, and I just haven't touched it yet because I'm intimidated. For some reason, I get really intimidated to start a new game because I'm like, how much time am I going to put into it? Am I going to like it? Whatever. So, like, I put off Assassin's Creed 3 for, like, 2 years. I've had it still wrapped in its original packaging. And not until November did I finally open it and, like, beat it within the month and stuff like that. I didn't want to talk too much about Assassin's Creed 3 because, I'm going to put up a post about it. But one interesting thing I do want to point out that they do, that I appreciate, that not many games do, especially going back to RPGs, say, like, Zelda Ocarina of Time. Final Fantasy VII, whatever it is, Kingdom Hearts. There's always, like, the save right before the final battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that is technically the last time you save in the game, because anything you do afterwards is not recorded, because then there would have to be a post-game thing. Because if you saved after you beat Sephiroth, then what would happen when you reload the game? You just kind of walk around or something like that? Like, they don't do that. So it's like, you will never save how well you beat Sephiroth unless there's, like, a replay plus version of the game where it's like start the game again with all of your equipment, so and that would take over your file. So like I've always had that thought as a kid, being like, what happens after? Like after I beat Sephiroth, after I beat Ansem, like isn't it all nice? I'm gonna wander around now. I was like, no, that save point is the end of your game basically.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 3 actually does have a post-game environment after you accomplish what you set out to do. The credits roll, then you're back in the American Revolution or whichever it was. I'm bad with my history, and there's actually a couple post-game things. And this isn't DLC. This is just built into the games, and you get to like go to some of the places and talk to people, and they'll like tell you why this place is like this, and it's actually really interesting that they allowed that, because most cases it's kind of like there'd be, after Ocarina of Time, if you had like after you beat Ganondorf, do you then run around as young Link in the field and there's no bad guys anymore or something like that? So I don't know. It's interesting to have that option. But like Assassin's Creed is designed in such a way that there's still enough to do afterwards if you didn't complete them yet, like collect all of this and do this.
Like you run around, everybody's giving you praise, and you're just completing mini quests.
It's like, what's taking my time?
I lost my apple pie. If you could help me find it, I'll give you 5 gil.
Yeah, basically. It's like, there's the guy you defeat again, and he's like, well, I gotta go collect chickens now and get those hearts I missed for some reason. There's no battle. I don't know why I need these hearts, but I need to see you guys. I gotta collect some spiders or something, save this family who turned into spiders or something. All right, see you guys. It's that kind of thing where it's like the post-credit, it would just be like, that'd be interesting if all RPGs just had like everything's fine now. You just kind of hang around and just like level up a bit more, but there's like nothing to do.
Exactly.
Like the idea is like DLC would be what you do, but like I like when they just let you continue and like, wonder. We got my age saying I played through Mass Effect 1 in 24 hours. It's not that long unless you want to mess with a side quest. Be brave, you'll do fine. Is there some people suggested there's certain DLCs I really should play? Because some of the DLCs are in the middle of the game. You can't like after you beat the game, you can't just buy a DLC and be like, oh, I'm going to this planet. It's like, no, it's over. So I don't know if the box set has all the DLCs or just some of them, but like, is there any DLC that you suggest I should get? Because like, oh, we really need to play this. This is a really good add-on. Or is it just like additional crap which I don't really need? It's like, collect more hats or something. I don't know. I love collecting stuff. I'm bad. I will collect all the hats if I have to. That's Captain Toad. While on the topic of Nintendo, I told you guys about all the amiibo. Starting with the Smash Bros, they came out with these figurines. They're called amiibo. And what they do is, like, for the purposes of Smash Bros, you attach them, touch them to your gamepad. That character appears in your game, and he's a computer character that learns from you, and you level him up and feed him food and stuff like that and train them. And it's great. It's fun. And they can be used for other games, like they unlock costumes in Mario Kart, or they unlock something else in Captain Toad, and down the road they'll be doing lots of things. And I told you about how it was hard for me to find a Marth. The king from Fire Emblem, the prince, whatever he is from the original Fire Emblem. Marth, dude with the sword, blue hair, he's great. And I only saw him once, his amiibo figurine, at a future shop on the launch day of Smash Bros. And I was just like, oh, amiibos, I'm not going to get into all this. Well, then after the fact, I did get into all this because I'm like, that Kirby is so cute. I need that Kirby. And like, oh my gosh, this villager from Animal Crossing. I'll get that, blah, blah, blah. So I have accumulated a couple of amiibo, mainly, as I discussed last time, because a lot of these characters they just don't have figurines for. Like, you can't go to Toys R Us and be like, oh, I want a villager from Animal Crossing. It's like, oh. It's like, oh, I want Kirby. It's like, oh, there's none. But in this case, they're decent enough looking, they're kind of fun, and they have some application games. Why not? So I started collecting them, and I could not find a Marth. And gradually, every time I pop into like Amazon just to see what's up, or eBay, people are going like $30, $60, $70 because there was no Marths anywhere.
Jeez.
Recently, a Canadian games retailer, which I assume would be EB or something, revealed from a message that basically Nintendo is not. It's only been like 1 day of sales. And now they've like discontinued making more of certain amiibo because they don't want to clutter the shelves. So there is basically going to be no more Marths, Villagers, or Wii Fit trainers.
Yikes.
If you missed them, that's it. And you only had maybe a day to get them because they did not. Because all the toy stores, like your Toys R Us, Walmart, Target, all that stuff, they only really got the ones that were like the most common, like everyone would know. They got like, oh, the Mario, the Pikachu, the Donkey Kong, the Yoshi, and then like they had less of, but like because I broke it into 3 tiers. You know, Mario, Donkey Kong, Pikachu, Yoshi, Link were kind of like the most recognizable of like the top tier. Then the second tier are the ones where you'd find in certain places, but not all the places, which would be Samus, Fox, Peach. So I nabbed those because I'm like, I better jump on that. And then the bottom tier were the ones that like Toys R Us didn't have at all, which was Marth, Wii Fit Trainer, Animal Crossing dude, you know, Villager. Mm-hmm. And now those ones are just axed, pun intended, because he has an axe in Animal Crossing. Those are gone. So if you want them, you know, you got to go online and shell out because Nintendo, which is frustrating because it's like, you know what, this isn't a great one. This is a Shaggy World problem as far as like level of intensity of who gives a crap. But the point is, it's like it's frustrating because you did not have a chance to get them at all if you missed out because all the articles are like, go get them now. I'm like, I can't. I've tried everywhere. They're gone. You know, there is no more Marth. Marth was the only one I wanted because I'm like, oh man, like after when I was like, you know what, I should get some amiibo. Marth was like, he was my guy in Melee. You know, he was my go-to, and I still, as I said, I like the Fire Emblem roster, and Shulk, shirtless, pantsless Shulk.
Oh yeah.
Who's really feeling it? But yeah, no, they're just off the market, and it's a shame because Nintendo. It sounded like they were trying to branch out more and be like, oh, we want to like do more, you know, collaborative stuff, working with Mercedes for weird commercials that are amazing, working with Team Ninja and stuff, or Koi for the Hyrule Warriors, and like doing these figurines, kind of like, you know, Skylanders and Nintendo or Disney Infinity, and like already day one they've discontinued figures because it's like, oh, they're already sold out. We don't want to put any more on the shelf. You're like, what? Are you guys even trying? Oh,
nope.
I will not understand. And like they have the next round coming soon, which is going to be Toon Link and.
Yeah.
I don't know if some other Fire Emblem characters will come soon. Bowser, Captain Falcon, and now everyone's going to freak out because they're going to think they're going to be discontinued. So they're going to like snatch them up right away. Meanwhile, there's like 50 Donkey Kongs in every store. All these Donkey Kongs lying around.
I was in a Target in Ottawa the other day, and because I flew out there for a meeting, and I was looking for Marth, but I didn't see him there.
Oh, nice.
A lot of Donkey Kongs.
Did you see Donkey Kongs and Pikachus and Marios?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Links are still common enough, so I wasn't rushing out for Link, and also because I have like a really nice Figma Link, I don't need another Link, unless someone's gonna give one to me, then I'll accept it. But the point is, I was just like, there's no Marth anywhere. I saw him once, and there was only like one figurine when I saw him, but I wasn't thinking about it. So this is one of the things where it's like, oh, I should have. But we must move on. From these physical things, and you know there'll be other things we fancy later, and other things that gather dust. So I'm not too broken up about it, but let me just put it this way: if any of you guys have a Marth, you don't want to. I know a guy who could use a Marth. Crystal was talking about Mass Effect. We got Mass Effect 3. Citadel is the best DLC in the Mass Effect series. I'll make a note of that. ME Citadel. Like, are some of the DLCs kind of like, oh, if you missed this, it's a big part of the story, or like I guess they made it tame enough that you wouldn't. Anyway, we got Miles saying, I don't remember Mass Effect 1 having any highly important DLCs. It's been a while since I played it though. But in Mass Effect 2 and 3, there's definitely some you want, but you can Google that stuff. Yeah, I'll look into it. Right now, I've actually gotten back into because I was sitting there last night, being like, I don't want to start a new game, but I miss the Assassin's Creed roaming around on the horse and jumping on trees and stuff like that. Like Assassin's Creed 3 is a beautiful game. Some people panned it because like they said the beginning was really kind of too tutorial-ish, and the tutorial never ends. Like 10 hours of tutorial. But, like once you get past all that, and even during, like I didn't really mind it too much. It is a gorgeous game. Like once you start navigating through the trees as Connor and stuff and riding horses and just you get the flow of the game, it's like it's burnt into you. Like at night I'm just like I want to be playing that, but I beat it and I don't want to download all this DLC because I want to move on. So I went back to Red Dead Redemption, which is also an open world horse riding game. With my main man, John Marston, my favorite.
Boy.
Oh boy howdy. Haven't heard that voice in a while. I haven't heard that voice since 2010. My save file was from November 2010, and I'm like, holy, it's been a while since I played this because I never finished.
You just went back into it?
Yeah, I just like, well, I don't remember any of these characters or why I'm here, but it's the West, and I have a horse, and he's really fast, so I'm good, you know. And I just started roaming the West, and there's really not much to do out there, but it's still kind of nice just to have that open world experience and like jumping on a train that was driving by for no reason and doing a mission I wasn't invested in at all and putting on new clothing. You know, so it was kind of. So I don't know how long I'll do it, but like I did want to beat it because I enjoyed it up until like until I stopped, I guess, for some reason. We got Maya saying Citadel DLC is a must, definite must. Okay, I'll look into that. But yeah, me and John Marston, good times, back in the West. I love the way he yells at everything for every little thing. Howdy, Jesus, John, settle down. Ugh. No wonder all the guards like jump on me anytime I do anything. Basically, like the snake bit at me, so I kicked at it, and then all the guards killed me.
Wow.
Like, they must have really liked that snake. Jerks. Oh, I didn't get my pun in. When I was talking about Amiibo, I want to say Amiibo. There you go.
There we go.
Oh, and also another note about Ni no Kuni. If you're just joining us, the Studio Ghibli story about a boy and his doll that turns human and trying to get his mother's soul and all that stuff, and it's beautiful. It was a little disconcerting when our very first antagonist was a puppy we had to beat with a stick.
It was like a lion puppy, to be fair.
Yeah, and it's called like a rawr or something like that. Or
I was like, why are all the monsters so cute?
Rawr. And I'm like, they're so like all the monsters are so adorable in Ni no Kuni, and it's like, get them. It's like Luna, just like go kill it.
Yeah,
get
but
it with that stick.
You're not chasing them yet. It's mostly they're attacking you. So when you get really strong, they all start to run away from you.
Like, so
and when you try to power up, it's just like, get back here.
Though I do like that your like sidekick partner is basically a dick. He's like, everything he says is so dry and rude. It's just like, you're an idiot if you don't understand this tutorial. You're like, hey, right.
Yeah, anyway, this is getting boring, so we'll move on. Like, thank you.
Yeah. That's what he does. I'm like, he's awful. We'll just do a couple more things about video games before we move on. The Video Game Awards happened recently, kind of in tandem with this whole Sony event. The Video Game Awards at the very end had footage from the new Zelda game coming out for Wii U, which is exciting. They showed off, it was Miyamoto, and I keep forgetting the other guy's name. He's like the head of Zelda stuff. But they're showing off the new Zelda with its open world, and it's basically Skyrim with his Link, which looks awesome because it's just this giant. Hyrule is huge now. It's open world. You're riding Epona. It's beautiful. You jump off of Epona, and it goes in slow motion, so you can aim your arrow, and you're like, and it's like, oh, it's looking good. And it is just a taste. Like there wasn't too much going on in it, but it's just a taste of things to come.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's looking nice, so I'm excited. So here's the thing. Nintendo's always had the problem, even though I don't consider it a problem, but financially always been a problem, that the first-party games are so good, but they have like little to no third-party supports. And this time around, that is still true, because all the games I own on my system right now is like Smash Bros., Mario Kart 8, Toad's Treasure Trackers, Wario, Nintendo Land. Like, I don't need any other company's games, because Nintendo makes such a solid game that you don't need anyone else. Which is, kind of hard for them to exist, but like, they still get a couple third-party games. But like, I don't know, Nintendo games are just so good on their own. I don't need anything else. But that being said, keep an eye out for that. And if you are considering a Wii U, it's definitely worth it. Like a lot of the single-player stuff is fun, a lot of the multiplayer stuff is amazing. Mario Kart 8 is still freaking fantastic.
It's fun, especially with the new levels. Are they gonna do more of that? Because that was really cool if they made more.
Yep. They have another 8 coming out in May. The Animal Crossing pack, which
Awesome.
we've seen nothing of it yet. I don't know what the level. We may have seen like a clip, but I'm curious what's coming to that. Because like I was delighted by the Excite Bike course, which I'm like, how are they gonna do this? It's like a straight line. It's basically this octagon, but it's all hills. And when you're doing it with full like at 150 with all bananas, it is one of the most challenging racing experiences. Kind of like 2 weeks ago with our weekly Mario Party team thing, which we didn't do last week, we just missed it. We did an all bananas mode, and I think that's my favorite mode now.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like all projectiles, all bombs, it's like whatever. But the beauty of all bananas. Get close to your computers. Here's the thing. The beauty about all bananas mode is, first lap, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm I'm ahead of the pack, I'm in the middle, whatever, a couple bananas here and there, like, oh, this is nothing. Lap 2, everything has changed. Because all of your favorite places to drift is now covered in bananas. And you have to react. Because all these levels are burned into your memory. You're like, oh, I could do this race with my eyes closed and a cup of tofu without spilling it. That's an initial D reference for you guys. But the point is, it's like, I could do this with nothing. Those bananas ruin everything for you. And you got to be active. And then you're like, okay, I got this. Lap 3, even more bananas you got to dodge. And it's a whole different game, and I love it because it's not about who's the fastest anymore. It's about who can react to bananas around every turn. So, thoroughly recommend you guys do bananas mode. It is the best variant of Mario Kart in my IMHO. Yes. Can you share anything you're working on right now, or?
Not just yet.
You're like, surprise! I did nothing.
Surprise! I'm just gonna
As we always maintain, animation is a wonderful thing, especially now. And the most recent episode of Korra knocked the pants into the sky, or whatever phrase you want to say. It was jaw-droppingly good. The action, the fight sequences, the characters.
I love me some Baybones.
If you're not watching Korra, I thoroughly recommend you got to get on it. This season has been fantastic. And this most recent episode was just... You don't want it ruined for you on Tumblr, man. Because they will do it.
That happens way too quick.
Yeah, man. We got to get on the show even faster now. Because like I see like a frame, like I scroll carefully, and I see like half a frame of something that looks like an animated series, and I'm like, nope. Don't wanna know just yet. Because Korra is ridiculously good. We got Benjamin in Boston saying I'll have to try this banana Shanahanigans sometimes. Yes, you gotta do it. It is like it was awesome, Tony, and it was a treat. And I actually want to get more people doing it. Like I want all 8, all 12, whatever, to be human players, and it would just be like Bananarchy. It'd be great.
I like Bananarchy.
That's
Bananarchy Thursdays.
Yeah, we should call it Bananarchy Thursdays because honestly, I think I want to do it that way forever now. Because like I'm all like projectiles and red shells and stuff. It's like, but they're still always kind of like the same 3 people are usually still leading the pack. But I think with bananas, it just screws with everybody. Like no one's an expert anymore once bananas are entered. Like unless you're like one of those guys who've been like, I've seen this racetrack in my mind and I've seen all the bananas in 100 different formations and I'm ready for everything. And he's like, my God.
Doubt it.
Yeah. That'd be incredible because you're going to you want to go to the boost and it's just a row of bananas crossing the boost. You're like, come on!
People
but it's not
at the worst places too.
Yeah, but it's not as infuriating as say like lightning, which can just happen whenever, and you lose all your items. You're like, all right, that's because lightning's no one's fault. It's not like that's.
Bananas like you try and get close to a jump, or you try and get near the item boxes, and it's just littered with bananas.
Yeah, bananas. It's like it's your fault because you either should slow down a little. Because you know these bananas are out there. It's like, watch out, they're coming to get you. Yeah, so Korra, definitely got to watch. Also, the new Bee and Puppycat came out, episode 3, which is like, there's no action or combat in this one. This one is like leading up to something, but it's all just like hanging out at this little beachside place, watching this weird TV show about a guy eating and stuff. And it's like,
That was pretty cute.
it's chill. The show's getting all nice and chill.
Yeah, look at that weird cleavage crab.
Yeah, the cleavage crab, that was something. I'm like...
That was interesting.
I'm like, huh.
That's pretty crab.
This is an interesting series. This crab likes cleavage of all kinds. That's interesting. We got Tyler Mann with a question saying, I have an Artist Alley question. How long or what con did you find your original comics started selling well? How long or what con did you find your original comics started selling well?
We haven't really exhibited a ton. So I mean, I guess TCAF, because like we did Wizard World once and then like a fan expo, but like I didn't really have any books then.
That's true.
And
Yeah,
honestly, when we first played at TCAF, I didn't even have comics way back when. It was just some art prints. So I mean, we didn't really start making our own books until like TCAF.
Yeah. That's actually a question, yeah, because like we haven't really been selling for too long, have we? Like we were making stuff online forever, and we didn't actually have any products like that we, would ship or anything. It wasn't until we didn't even really do shows too much until we had stuff in other people's books, and then we
actually the anthologies.
But we didn't really bring
it until Comic-Con really in San Diego, and that was because we were part of the flight booth.
Yeah, and that's when we were like, oh man, we should like make a book, because like everyone at the table were there for flight, but they also had their own stuff, and we're like, we don't have any of our own stuff. We can have stuff. We should have stuff.
Yeah.
So that kind of led to that. So as far as like when things started selling, like the very first since having the Silly Kingdoms, like every TCAP has been like ridiculously good. Like somehow people just like it's appealing to them, or they know us from the web and want to support. But like that was just kind of it was kind of a weird lead up, because we didn't like start at cons when we were just starting out. We started the web first and then gradually kind of went to cons. We got a quick question. We got Galaxy saying, someone recommend me what I should do for dinner. I can tell you what to do for desserts.
Yes.
There's a thing I tried recently. It's called brownies, and it comes in this box. It's like Betty Crocker, whatever. I don't know who it is. Betty someone with a spoon. And it's like, on the back of the box, it tells you what you need. It's like water, vegetable oil, egg, 3 things. Chances are they may already be in your. I'm like, this is madness. It can't be this easy. And then it says on the box, yes, it can be this easy. I'm like, perfect. Mix it all together.
I know, right?
Get your arm. The box says, I know. It's crazy. Get your arm a little workout. Mix the brownies together. Put on a tray. I used a glass tray, which is stove safe, but like you can do a pan too. But you want to grease that pan up too. You can use the same oil that you already had in there. Just grease up just the bottoms. I don't know why they said not to do the sides. Fill that stuff out, put it in the stove based on the size of your cubic dimensions. You may be for 30 minutes, 35 minutes, I don't know. Comes out nice and hot. It's a brownie. Package comes with some little icing too. It's not a lot of icing, so you gotta be careful. You gotta spread it out, but a little bit of a chocolate goop. And your house smells like the brownies, and everyone's happy. Until you realize you can't cut out a nice square of it because it's still too hard, like too hot and soft. You gotta shove it in the fridge, and you're like, well, where was that? That's my recommendation.
Dreams.
Everything I believed in, gone. As far as dinner, though, actually, I have a dinner recommendation too. Personal Naan pizzas.
Oh, those are good.
Go to the store, get yourself a pack of naan bread, like a 5-pack. It could be about $2-3, not too bad. Get yourself a can of tomato sauce, tomato paste, however you like it. Maybe the pasta stuff if you want a little more flavor to it. Bag of cheese, look for the ones on sale, or get a block and shave it up yourself. And then from there on, it's anyone's game. Do you want, I don't know, kielbasa? Do you want, I don't know, pepperonis? Do you want, some other meat? Do you want like a buttered chicken thing instead? I don't know. Get some pineapples, get some peppers. Personal Naan pizza. It's the perfect size for like a personal slice, either to fold and eat, or even the file or cut up if you have to, if it's covered too much stuff. And if you have friends over, everyone can personalize it to whatever they want, and it tends to be just enough food to be a full meal. My recommendation, personal.
Yeah, they're fun for a party.
Yeah, and the good thing about
it was great.
Yeah, and the good thing about the naan bread is it's thicker than say a pita, or pita tends to be kind of a little more hollow on the insides, or the rolls for the burritos, those are really thin, and this is kind of just the right size that it doesn't absorb. It doesn't absorb all of the pasta sauce. The pasta sauce sits on top of it nicely. It doesn't make it wet, so it's still kind of like a hardened pizza, and it's perfect. The perfect personal Naan pizza. That is my recommendation to you. If you don't have those things, well, I have nothing else to say to you. We got Benjamin Boston saying, do you find it easier to keep drawing when watching animation often?
I can't really. It's gotten harder for me to draw while doing other stuff. I find I really need to sit down somewhere quietly and do it. Like I could sketch in cafes, but if there's a cartoon on, I just want to watch the cartoon and things like that. Like I used to try and, because sometimes when you're storyboarding, it's like you're nonstop doing a lot of work all the time, and so I want to put a movie on to keep me busy, but then I find I get too distracted by the movies. If it's something visual, I'm going to want to watch it, but if it's something like maybe a TV show that's just like a lot of talking, I can kind of just...
Like regular show?
Yeah, regular show actually. Yeah. That is one of the last times I kind of just put something on and was able to just listen to it, because the art style is fun and I enjoy it, but I find I'm able to get a lot of enjoyment just from listening to them talking as well.
You just have like a radio play.
But this stuff will go crazy and you're like, what is happening over there?
Yeah, in the third act, something horrible will happen. Galaxy also mentions personal pizza and brownies. It is. Quick thing too, if you're making the pizza and you have a stove, you use the broil, of course, the heat goes downwards, but you don't really want it right on the top tray, especially if you have a paper base, because that will catch fire. So you're going to want to put it down like second or third tray or so. And keep an eye on it. It only takes about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. The naan bread will start darkening, of course, turning black. That's when you know it's kind of ready to go, because otherwise it's going to get too crispy and it's going to be hard to knife through. You don't want the naan bread to get too crispy, because then it's like a cracker. This is all solid cooking tips. Look at me teaching food. And if you want to go healthy too, get yourself a blender or a magic bullet. Throw in whatever fruit you got in there, a yogurt, a juice. And then if you hate eating bananas in life because the texture is just displeasing to you, huck that bad boy into the blender and you can make yourself so many different kinds of shakes.
Yeah.
I recently had a shake that a friend recommended that's like the purest of health shake when you start putting greenery in it. So I had like spinach, pineapple, avocado, apple slices, a bit of lemon and stuff, and it came out as this like green foam. Like it wasn't even a solid drink. You had to like kind of mash it up because there's too much air in it. And it's like, and we're drinking it, and we're like, okay, it's nature. It's not like drinking broccoli or nothing. But it's like, all right, I get it. It's not, I guess it's getting it all in one place. I also have so many tips for salads and stuff. Each week we should recommend like a new. What do you recommend for food? What's something that you like to whip together?
I really like spinach a lot these days, so I'll just kind of throw spinach on top of a whole bunch of whatevers. It's like I make a sandwich exploded where I'm like, I'll just have a little bit of bread and some cheese and some meat and some vegetables and some spinach, and I'll just place them around the plate. I'll deconstruct the sandwich.
Well, that's like, we also made that broccoli salad once that was really good. It was like,
that was good. That was my friend Adriana's recipe. It was tasty.
Yeah, I want more of that. Make more. That was good.
Yeah.
Ugh,
we'll see.
Fantastic. Like I don't like raw broccoli. That should be like one of those tongue twisters for voice actors. Raw broccoli. There's got to be one more word in there. I saw raw broccoli. I don't know. Point is, I don't like raw broccoli. I don't like it boiled either. I like it steamed just so it's kind of crispy but still soft. A little soy sauce. But in this case, it was really good in that salad. Got little Armina saying, recently my nephews forced me to watch Avatar. I'm ashamed to say that I haven't watched it until now. I'm excited to watch Korra now.
Yeah, I'll enjoy it.
I have a friend of mine who's also watching Avatar right now, and she's like on season 3, and she's like, what's going on with Zuko? I'm just like, it's good, isn't it?
I have friends that aren't quite into it yet, and I'm like, you just gotta kind of like, because season 1's kind of a little more kind of, there's like a flow through it, but it's kind of more episodic. But like when it starts getting really into a lot of really cool plot, it's like, oh my god, you gotta watch it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Season 2 especially, like, season 3 is amazing.
We'll probably start wrapping up shortly because we got other stuff we got to take care of. So if you have any questions and stuff, give them fast. A couple last things I want to hit quickly. This week we went to the Bit Bazaar in Toronto, which is at the Bento Miso location down at Queen and just south of Queen, Richmond. I forget.
Trinity Bellwood Park.
Yeah, and it's basically like a game environment where people can go and like start building games and work as teams and stuff like that and rent out space. But once in a while they host events there, and this was the Bit Bazaar where a whole bunch of games are being on display, people showing off what they're working on. It was fun there because we got to play some games, saw a bunch of friends who are running games and things. And I don't know what I think, like stuff like what was that one? The Yog is always fun to try out if you haven't yet. Yog. Yog. It's got like great art style. It's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like a tabletop, turn-based kind of choice game. But it's done with like, you have 4 players with like Xbox controllers, and you're like going to a location, doing a thing, and then you get like points and stuff for that. It's really interesting.
Art by Emily Carroll.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But of course, no event is complete without food and drink. And what was the drink I had? It was called. Their logo was like a ghost on the beer, and it was like a grapefruit beer or something like that. Oh, I took a photo of it. What was it?
I don't remember. It was pretty good. It had like a grapefruity kind of.
Yeah. Stall them. What else did you see at the Bit Bazaar?
I mean, we went through. I saw a couple friends there, but yeah, it was fun. Mostly, I was just super warm with all the bodies in there. So it's like I kind of had to. I couldn't really stick around too long. I felt like I was getting super overheated. But we saw my friend Rosemary, and she has her game Fate Tectonics, which is they're looking to get it up on Steam soon. It's a fun game where you're like a god helping to build. You're trying to build like the best kind of world you can. It's just like it's a fun puzzle game, making sure pieces put together. And yeah, it's a really great way for the indie development company, community in Toronto to get together and see what everybody's up to and help support local comic artists and game developers. So hopefully they keep doing more of these because it was fun to just see everybody.
Well, I played this. It's actually a free game. I think it's called Monster Manor 2D. This photo isn't really great about it, but it's something like that. And basically, what it is you with 4 controllers play as like the teens in like the horror house, and someone plays as the monster. Horror.
Okay.
Someone plays as the monster.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, what game is this?
And what you're supposed to do, and we were wearing these 3D glasses, but they made 3 of the glasses like blue and 1 of them red, because what you see on the screen would be altered based on if you saw through blue or saw through red, so you can't actually see the monster.
Interesting.
Because of the color scheme. And we're trying to like open these doors and stuff like that, and we like just got massacred each time. I think I escaped once though, and it worked out. So check that out, called Monster Manor 3D. And this is a drink. It's called Ghostbuster. Ghostbuster. G-O-S-E Buster. It's a Liberty Village Brewing Company, and they had this little ghost on the can, which is cool. It was like a sticker they slapped on there, but I'm like, oh, I appreciate that. And there's also like Cheerios and stuff like that too.
Cheerios and.
We got Tyler Mann saying, I didn't get into the table at TCAF this year again, so I'm going to apply for the Bit Bazaar this coming May. Yes, there were people selling comics at the Bit Bazaar.
Yeah, I think you enjoy it. It's good.
Yeah. And also like when it comes to TCAF and stuff, like maybe like keep an eye out for if people are doing like anthologies and stuff, and if you could get in on that, you guys can all share a table and like come as a collaborative. I don't know if there's any better advantage of like that, but if you tell TCAF, it's like there's going to be a bunch of us switching in and out sharing the table. Lots of personalities, and emphasize first timers, because I think they do. Yeah. They generally do want like people who haven't done it yet to do it. So maybe you got to push harder on that fact, being like, we've never done it before. We're all terribly excited. We have someone coming from Newfoundland. It's gonna be great. So like we ourselves, we don't know what's going on with TCAF this year, so we're still just like waiting to see what's up. But speaking of TCAF, which you guys are great at segueing for me, the TCAF pop-up shop, which I briefly mentioned last week, I believe. I finally got to check it out this past week, along with our good buddy Alex Quinn from Quintessential Comics, and also Dr. Comics, the shop in Toronto and Kensington Market area, which I was over there to drop off some issues of Silly Kingdom. So if you want to get a physical copy of Silly Kingdom with that comic shop experience of buying one, go to Kensington Market, check out Dr. Comics. But after that, we both headed over there because it was the Chip Zdarsky book launch for Just the Tips, the book of all the helpful hints of the do's and don'ts of sexy times, the way I like to put it. And the stores, if you follow my posts I put either on Tumblr or follow uberfriendship.com, your one-stop place for articles once in a while. I did a little write-up on it. In the TCAF shop, you gotta go. It is a treat. It is kind of like basically take Toronto's internet culture of comics and put it all in one place, or Canada in general, because you have stuff from like Dinosaur Comics section, you have the Scott Pilgrim section, you have stuff from Kate Beaton, you have stuff all over the place. Also some main staples, of course, like Bone and Asterix and Obelix, and it's a nice little shop, and it's right in the Toronto Reference Library, right at the entrance. This is basically just north of Yonge and Bloor. You go in and then take a left, and there's a shop there full of all this nice stuff, and it's all comics, and I think it's really cool. You guys should check out the TCAF pop-up shop. I believe it's open throughout the holiday season. It's meant for like grabbing tourists and stuff who want some fun little comic stuff while they're hanging out at the library, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely a really neat venture, and it's ran by TCAF / the Big Island folks, all delightful folks, all putting comics into libraries, which we both love happening.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Don't
Got
forget to
Sarah.
check it out.
Yeah, give it a check out before it's too late. 'Cause I think it's going to leave, then it's going to come back as something more permanent. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. We got Sarah Quarian saying, talking about TCAF, a local indie publishing place managed to raise enough money on Kickstarter to translate a bunch of comics into English for TCAF.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's interesting. If you have an article about that, throw it our way. I'd be curious about that.
Yeah, that sounds
Raising
cool.
money. Wonder what comics they translate. Interesting. Very interesting. Cool. Good to know. Throw some information our way. It's almost at the hour, so we're going to start wrapping up. We talked about the Bit Bazaar. Let's see. No, that'll be a part of updates, I guess. TCAF Pop-Up Shop. Go check it out. Also go to Dr. Comics in Kensington Market. There's also a place in Kensington Market that opened recently that's like a fry shop, or a frites shop. That's like they cover it in stuff. I'm going to check it out this week and tell you guys all about it. Because this is also a learning show about food. It's not just arts, animation, and games. Yeah. It's about your tummies.
All the good things in life.
Because I think all websites should talk about food. Because how can we appreciate the things we do if we don't have food, the energy to keep doing it?
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, if you're in Toronto, another recommendation, you want to check out Yakitori. Kentori. It's part of kind of the Kinton ramen chain, but it's like a yakitori, which is Japanese bar food place, just upstairs at Bloor near Christie. And it's just skewers, like Japanese skewers, be it like, you know, if you like gone to a sushi place, you're like, oh, I get this unagi, I get this eel on a bed of rice. Not in the mood for the rice, but I want some eel. This place, you skip all that. None of this rice business. Go straight to the eel on the skewer. Good times.
It's pretty amazing.
Get some beer. Get some quail egg wrapped in bacon. It's all good. Yeah, Katie enjoyed it too. And then she went sleepy time because she had too much good stuff.
It did make me very sleepy. I'm also getting sick, so I'm just like...
That's true. I'm not looking for it. I haven't got sick yet this season, so it's going to hit me any second now.
I was on an airplane yesterday, so I'm just like...
Here it comes. Quick comic recommendations. The Wicked and the Divine. Katie picked up a whole whack of the single issues, and I was like, this is amazing. Can't wait for more. Would you like to summarize it for what
basically, it's kind of like the major gods of mythology are reborn every 100 years, and this time they've come back as pop idols in Britain. And it's about a main character who's a groupie, as it were, going around.
It's like a god groupie.
Yeah, I don't even remember exactly what. She gets involved in kind of the backdoor in like something's going on with these gods, and she gets involved in the backstory.
It's a really interesting read. I got way into it. I'm like, I need more, and then we ran out. I'm like, Bleh!
Yeah, we're waiting for the updates.
Yeah. So that's my recommendation for you guys to read: The Wicked and the Divine. Definitely worth a check. Quick question we got for Chris, the hosting. Question for Katie. Did you at all in your animation career like animating people and things, or do you prefer what you're doing now, storyboarding and the like?
Storyboarding, 100%. I got into animating just because, my first jobs, they were looking for just kind of a bunch of people fresh out of school to, give you some experience, but also it's a little bit cheaper, I think, to hire people right out of school. So I kind of worked my way up because what I really wanted to do was storyboarding, and then so I kind of got a portfolio together on the side, or I worked on comics on the side, and that helped me get into storyboarding, but I much prefer the storyboarding. I have friends who love animating. They love the movement and the performance, but what I like the most is planning all that out at the storyboard stage and not fleshing it out in the animation. I appreciate really amazing animation. I just don't have the patience for it.
No, like the whole thing of like either drawing the same character a bunch of times or reposing their puppet in Flash or something like that. I guess it's like not your cup of tea.
Well, and I mean, you can do some really beautiful work with Flash if you're posing stuff out. Like you're not necessarily moving things around. Like you can redraw and make stuff look really great. But just what I like is kind of coming up with the bare bones acting and the choices and everything.
Chris also says, and also people in my class think storyboarding sounds like an easy job in animation. I wanted to know if that's a false assumption. Katie?
I think they should get the job and see what that's like. That's so silly.
Easy job. You want to know what the easy job is? The writing. You just make up whatever you want and let other people do it.
You know what's the easy job? Starting an animation studio, because you just open an animation studio and just make movies.
They're all different kinds of work, and all of them are in this line of everyone on a deadline, and one affects the other, so it's all pressure. Because like if this gets delayed, then that one gets delayed, and then you're at the end of the line if you're doing this job.
I mean, like I would say if you're working on a film, maybe storyboarding would, if you're really good at coming up with the shots and ideas, storyboarding might be the easiest thing to do because you're testing it out and you're getting it done, and then animation would be the most time consuming. But I don't know, that just depends on the person, I guess.
Ain't no easy jobs in this world, I
I
tell
don't think
you.
there's any easy job in animation.
Except for enjoying it. That's the easiest part.
Mm-hmm.
Get that popcorn, that sweet and salty popcorn or whatever you have. Sit down and go, Cora, go. Get them.
Mm-hmm.
I love enjoying it. Reviewing is the easiest job. They sit on these chairs and they get free copies of things and complain and complain. So, reviews.
Just a weird. I'm getting it for you. I'm like, you can't do my job. Come do this.
You know what the easiest job is? Animating flour sacks. That's the easiest job. Every day I'm just making flour sacks.
I mean, it's in as easy as much as do you have enough time to come up with all the shots and stuff you want to. If you have a really tight turnaround and you have to come up with some really complicated stuff, that's hard.
Yeah. No,
if you want to make it entertaining, maybe it takes a little more.
Chris also says, also that wasn't my own view or opinion, just wanted to find out from someone with experience what it entails. Entails work.
It's not easy. If it was easy, I'd be able to do a lot more of my own stuff on the side, but it's very time consuming.
Yeah. Also, because like you're adapting someone else's writing, as opposed to like if you were writing at the time, you'd have it in your mind what it's going to look like. But like you've got to come in cold and be like, all right, they want this to happen. Do they want it like this or like this? So I'll try this kind of thing. So it's a little different.
It's just a lot. It's a lot of work. That's kind of it. It's just a lot. You're doing a lot. So I mean, it's as easy or hard as the script is.
We got Chris also saying, lies, flower sacks are hard to animate. I wouldn't know. I'm not an animator. What do I don't know anything. It's easy. What's the word? Conjecture? Or what's the word for making up stuff? Is it conjecture? Conjecture? Making up words is the hardest thing. I can't even find words that are real. Conjecture is all it is. That's the right word. We'll start wrapping up. There are no easy jobs. Everything takes some sort of effort, passion, and sacrifice to do. Hopefully, it's all worth it in the end. A couple last minute things. If you guys are looking, if you guys have a bed, and you're like, this bed is lacking in pizza-like aesthetics, well, I have something for you guys. Head over to Kickstarter and check out Claire Manganello Pizza Bedding. She's like a New York-based creative person. Actually, I don't know too much about her. I just found this out today. But she has a Kickstarter going on right now for the pizza bedding, which you may have seen images of a while ago because it got shared around as kind of like an art piece. But now it could be yours and all the pizza goodness. Say you have a guest room and you wanted more pizza. Goodness. What?
Pizza goodness.
Yeah, pizza good. Not only can you have pizza for dinner, you can have it for bedtime. So check out Pizza Bed on Kickstarter. I just thought that was the most delightful of all Kickstarters I've seen recently. And also, I saw the photos of it like long ago. I'm like, oh, nice, it's now going to be available. Assuming the Kickstarter succeeds, so go help that stuff out. We also have Sarah Corian saying, I have a question for you both. I guess. I'll just interrupt, don't worry, you don't have to ask if it's for me. Have you ever worked with a friend professionally, and has it ever turned out bad? Any tips to deal with this? Great way to end the show.
I haven't really. Mostly I've worked just for studios. Yeah, I mean, I get nervous about that stuff just because it's like I'd rather have the friendship just in case things go bad.
That's actually a reason why some people like try not to work with friends, because they don't want to risk that kind of situation. Because we have seen it happen in the industry before, like people who collaborated on comics now like just hate each other, or like I don't know the situation with Walking Dead, but like stuff can happen. I never want money to get in between me and people I know, and that's usually why I'm really loosey-goosey with things like the bill and stuff. I never like, wait, you had 2 drinks. I'm like, I've never wanted, because, you know, talk about fair or not, but like I don't want to create that awkwardness, especially when it comes to like products of passion, be like a series or something. So it's like you always gotta kind of know what you're going to get out of it. I know there's all this talk about like always have contracts and things, but it's also just kind of like know who you're working with and like try to like talk about like if this goes beyond, if this goes like big times, like we gotta figure out who gets what or how much money.
Like I'll collaborate with friends on singular images and things like that. Like I go my really talented friend Jason Grifo, we go to him for making our comic covers looking amazing because he's so great. But like I haven't really done any big collaborations with friends of mine, mostly just because I'm so busy with this work stuff. And when it comes to our collaborating, we usually have a pretty similar kind of process or kind of storytelling. Things we lean towards are pretty similar.
Yeah, like
so we haven't gotten into any fights about that stuff.
Yeah, there's like some creative difference once in a while, and like someone will have to give to the other because sometimes there is no like middle.
Well, usually you give it to who's more passionate. If it's like you really think this is a great idea, it's like okay, fine. It's like if I don't care either way how the shot's set up, then all right.
I like that. It's like I just really don't give a shit. So it's like do whatever you want.
But you know what I mean? Like it's I'm not as like if I really think this is an important moment, I'm gonna fight for it. If it doesn't matter either way, then fine. That's okay.
Yeah, and like the same like writing wise, like most of the parts, I just as long as the characters like say the stuff and look great while doing it, I'm like, do whatever, like whatever camera angles you think. Like once in a while there'll be a particular one, like this has to be a bird's eye view for this punchline to work. That I'll like put my foot down on, and there's really rarely even a time I have to put my foot down on it at all in that respect. But it's like for the most part, like once again, Kay's the storyboard person. Like you can probably get better angles than I even know exist in this shot. You can like position these characters. Like once again, the only time we ever have that weird thing of like what happened there is whenever in my mind I write things happening right to left, and Katie's mind it happens left to right, and that happens all the time where we've inverted the screen direction for some because that's just who we are.
Mm-hmm.
But like I never like really fight that. It's just like it's interesting. I imagine it going this way. You saw it going that way. It's like whatever. Quickly, also, Chris would like to point out. I'd like to apologize if I offended.
No, not at all. It's fine. It's just I couldn't really come up with a way to accurately describe.
Not sure if I did or not. So I'm covering my bases here. Please let me come back next week.
Of course.
You're more than welcome. No, let me put it this way.
It's kind of like the thing is for a student to say that. Not you, but the people saying that. I'm like, do it. Just try doing a job and see if it's hard or not. Because maybe it's really easy for some people, and then that's awesome. But it's kind of I think sometimes when people are really passionate about one element, they kind of push off the other stuff. Like people who are really into animating. Not that everyone's like this, but some people who work in animation are like, those friggin' storyboard artists, they have it super easy. And the storyboard artists are like, those friggin' script writers, they have it so easy. It's kind of like passing the buck for the person above you that's making your life harder. But I mean, every job has its great bits and its hard bits and its easy bits. So I mean, it's just kind of funny, I think, if someone's still in the process of being in school for it, that it's like, but you haven't really done it full time, so how can you say it's that easy? But
yeah. My one tip for everyone for anything you do is never assume anything. Always like know what you're talking about before you talk. I'm not saying
we're not saying that about you. We're not saying that about you.
For these hypothetical people, we're like storyboarding is easy. I'm like, make sure they've done it. Like, don't just go like they can't just go out and be like, that's easy. It's like, have you done it though? Have you done it consistently?
Yeah.
Like, give them.
And maybe for these people, that's great.
Give them a script that you haven't read or seen a movie adaptation of, and be like, make this scene, then tell me if it's an easy job or not. And sit over their shoulder and tell them they're doing it wrong every step of the way, and giving them sticky notes to fix things. Then they will know.
I just mean like, I've been doing this for 5 years, and I still think there's so much room where I can improve. And you look at stuff done really well, and you're like, oh my god, like how do you come up with such exciting shots? How do you come up with like such great? I mean, it's like any kind of, you could make it just plotting things out, or you could actually make it like you're mini directing, like you're coming up with everything. So for some people, it's like, sometimes you might be able to make the movie really simple, and then that's easy. And then some people, it's like more complex and more crazy and dramatic with the angles and what you're doing with it. So, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And also
like, I'm trying not to be like harder, but yeah. It's hard for me to kind of describe that stuff.
Yeah. And also, don't worry about offending us. Like, we're rarely actually angry on this show. I like fake anger. I'm not angry about the amiibos. Like, I like yelling about it, but I'm not actually like, oh, Nintendo, what? I can't even. Like, I'm pretty easygoing about most things.
Yeah.
So, always ask questions. For all of you out there, never assume. Try a bit of everything. Because I could tell you that this pizza, this personal Naan pizza, is the greatest thing ever. But before you go telling your friends, be sure you try it. And then if it's good, tell them I told you. If you don't like it, don't talk about it at all.
It's better if you don't mention it.
Let's keep this pizza on the down low. No one needs to know about this pizza. We'll start wrapping up. And of course, you're welcome back to the show. Don't worry. We'd have no one to watch if you weren't here. We need your feedback. We need to be validated. A couple things to check out that we've been up to. Every once in a while, I release a little journalistic comic when I'm in the mood called Shaggy World Problems, inspired by me talking about my problems that aren't actually a problem at all on this show. You can check that out on my Tumblr, Shaggy Shan, and there's a little thing on the side. If you go to the proper Tumblr page, not just like on your feed, on my page, there's a little link that says Shaggy World Problems, and it'll take you to all the comics. I did a recent one about the Microsoft Store, which was kind of silly. Anything else I'm working on in particular? Nothing. Just audio stuff. If you want to have some audio stuff I've been doing, go to my SoundCloud, which is Shaggy Shan, or the connector of all these things, you want to go to the new website, shaggyshan.com, launched just the other day, hence why I was in such a celebratory mood and got myself some cocoa rice. Go to shaggyshan.com, because I did last night. It was like a treat to myself.
Nice.
Great. Go to shaggyshan.com, and that's going to be my portfolio site. It's not going to be really a bloggy type update thing, because it's plenty of that on Twitter, Tumblr, everywhere else, Facebook. But it's kind of meant for, just showing off what I do so I can send it to people. It's broken into 3 pillars, exactly as I designed it. It's got the written stuff, it's got the voice stuff, and it's got the video stuff. Still got to do some updating of a lot of the content, but do check out that site if you ever want to be like, yo, this guy's got a lovely voice. I don't know how to share it with you. Now you and your family can. Play it for on Christmas. Just play my voice reel. Christmas.
Do you have a Christmas track on there?
There is the song that we recorded. There's a song that we recorded for the last holiday a while back, and I wanted to re-put that somewhere. I didn't put it on SoundCloud yet, just because I didn't want to put it on during the summer. It doesn't make sense, but we may post that.
Excellent.
Yeah, but that's the place you want to go if you want to share the stuff around, and I'm going to just work on it and make it a little stronger, because I basically needed a place where you can find all of my stuff in one sitting, because right now I'm spread way too thin across the internet, and it's impossible to share any details. So I'm proud of that. I'm not tech savvy, website savvy, tech guy, so I'm happy that I was able to put that together using Squarespace. And after I say something like that, people are like, oh, you should use this, you should use that. I'm like, too late! I already subscribed for the year. There it is. So check that out. Katie, is there anything you want to push or promote? What's upcoming events or anything?
Let me check my calendar. I don't think I'm up to anything right now. I think there is some kind of geek Christmas event happening this Saturday. Let me quickly look it up for folks in Toronto who would be interested in that. I think it's like a comic gathering. It sounds like it's going to be a big to-do, but my internet's going really slowly, so I'm going to talk very slowly. Geek Christmas party, Saturday at 19 o'clock. It's at the Imperial Pub. I should go to this.
Okay. We actually know the Imperial Pub.
Yeah, come celebrate the holidays with your people, the geek people. We're holding a geek Christmas gathering this December. It's going to be Aces. Join us for big treats, booze, good company, trivia, ugly sweater contest, Christmas themed variant cosplay, trivia, door prizes, maybe even themed karaoke.
When is this?
Tickets on Eventbrite. Tickets are $5. Imperial Pub this Saturday. Just look up Geek Christmas Party on the Facebooks. Toronto. Should be more information there. Yeah, I think it's only on the thingies, and then they're selling tickets through Eventbrite. So yeah, I should go. I'll go.
Sounds great.
There's geek prizes from Third Quadrant, Paradise Comics, and more.
Oh, okay. Okay. Third quarter.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's that. Otherwise, if you want to track down all our stuff, you want to go to Katie Shy on the Twitters and the Tumblrs. You want to go Shaggy Shan on the Twitters and the Tumblrs, and go to shaggyshan.com. Why don't you? Brand new site. It has a new site smell. Check it out. And beyond that, you want to subscribe to the Facebook, of course. Shanahanigans, SHAN.
AHAN.
IGANS. That's the Facebook page. Subscribe to that because that's where our most recent and update stuff happens. Otherwise, there's also Shanahanigans.com. We don't post there terribly as often, but there's a bunch of comics there you can check out, a bunch of stuff that showed up, some anthologies in the comic section. Drop down and read some of those and be like, these guys know what they're talking about. They actually made a comic too. I'm like, yeah, I guess we did. How about
Yeah. Oh, I guess I should quickly share what I was drawing. I was just making a birthday card for my friend.
Cool. Wait, is this going to spoil it if they see it?
I don't think she's watching. I think she's at a party. That's why I was like, I don't know if I want to share this. Okay, so this is my
Hey,
grandma
I'm
Shawl.
sorry. We'll look at you. I'll click on that. Boop.
Yeah, this is my grandma Shawl and her cats, and we take horse riding classes. So, and there's a horse, yay! And she likes adventuring. So who knows where she is? This crazy background. So yeah, I'm gonna just pop that up on the Twitter. And, that was my one non-work related drawing this month.
Cool.
Yay!
Alright, awesome.
Sorry,
Well,
poor
this has been-
they say. Friggin', I wish I had more time. I wish it was so easy I had more time.
Cool, cool. All right, well, this has been Shanahanigans Live. There's a couple other questions, but we'll have to get to that next week. Or join us next week and you can re-ask your questions, but we usually kind of like run. But yeah, our show is usually Tuesdays at 8 o'clock on the Eastern Standard Time of Canada, I guess.
I think we're actually having I think next week might be a holiday special.
Oh, is it?
I
Why?
think so. I
It's
think
the
so.
holidays
I
already?
think it might be a very Murray Christmas.
Oh! All right, we'll keep you guys posted about next week, but otherwise stay tuned to the Facebook pages, our Twitters, our Tumblrs. All the information will be there. Otherwise, keep making stuff.
Keep making stuff.
Good. Be good to each other. Don't assume nothing. And we'll see you guys hopefully next week. Cheers.
Have a good week, everybody.
Bye.